Alright guys, been a while since I updated. I thought it was about due for one. Now I haven't worked on anything for a few weeks. It has been just too cold, wet, rainy, a little bit of snow here and there. So I just pretty much stayed in the house. So anyway, this car, I painted this over the summer. It was really hot. My paint gun messed up on me. The nut was backing off real slow on the trigger. And I didn't realize it, and I just assumed it was getting too hot and the clear wasn't wanting to flow. But anyway, that was another video I did about it. But anyway, I've decided, I have a chip in my rocker. I don't know how it got there, but I'm going to have to repair it. So I got to do a little repair with some putty and base. It's a little bitty thing, but I'm not going to leave it. But I also got, I sanded out a couple of sags in my hinge area and went to primer. So I'm going to have to spot base this, spot base those, and then I've decided I'm just going to re-clear the whole car. So I'm in the process of 600 wet sanding it. I had a couple little ripples in the fender well lip edge that I wasn't real happy with before, and I blocked them out, so it's good to go now. But I've decided to break it down into sections to paint it this time instead of trying to do it all at one time. Because I, sprayed the rockers and then I climbed up in here holding the hose out to do the top of the dash. It was a nightmare. And then trying to do the hinges and stuff in the car. So what I'm going to do now is where the cowl is actually welded to the rocker, I'm going to tape off that area, spray the rocker, the jam, the quarter, and underneath the rocker. This will be like at one time. I'm going to try to get both sides ready and do them both sides at the same time, since it's just walking from one side to the other. But as far as doing the jam and the cowl and the A-pillars and all that, and the firewall, I'll do that separately in one whack. But the dash is definitely going to be like the last thing I paint. I was going to try to color sand and buff it, and I had a run right here, and I went through the primer. So now it requires a little spot base on it, and a re-clear job. So anyway, I've just decided to 600 wet everything and start over, because I got a lot of dry spray down low on the toe boards, and it'd be a nightmare to try to color sand and buff down in there around those ribs, and going through all the paper grades up to like 3000 grit, and I'm just not going to do it. It'll flow really nice now that it's all flattened off. I cut it until the orange peel was out, and go back and put some more clear on. It'll really flow out nice. Because when I buff the firewall, I really don't want to buff below the toe boards, like where the angle goes down. I just want to leave all that, but the main flat area here, I want that all buffed, and all this up in here. So, and I'm going to buff my jams and hinges and everything, but I've got a little mini buffer for that. But anyway, might touch on, I just got back from the paint store. I had paint mixed for the roof and the upper back half of the car. I had the paint here. I've had it for 5 years. It's carbon fiber pearl. Actually, the first time it was going to be killer gray pearl, and then I changed it to carbon fiber pearl. So now I have 2 brand new gallons of paint that I'm not going to use. But when I come up with that paint scheme 5 years ago, let's just say the last few years I've seen a lot of black and charcoal gray style 55 and 6 Chevys. They're starting to get to where you can't even open a magazine without seeing one. So I changed my mind on color, and I haven't seen one done yet, but I'm not gonna let it out of the bag until the paint's on. So it's gonna be a surprise, I guess you could say. But anyway, I did work on my rear axle on block sanding it, because I smoothed everything out in it, plated everything in and smoothed it. The third member is decast, and I've got a little bit of putty work to do. I had to actually buy some putty at the paint store while I was there. But I think the biggest accomplishment is that chassis painted. And I've had so many people bitching about, oh, you need to do that gloss black. Well, you sure as a shit don't do a frame gloss black when your firewall in the main forward section of your car is gloss black. I've said it before. It literally looked like I opened the hood and went in there with a spray gun and just went crazy. You've got to break up your black shades if you want detail. But anyway, this is a satin finish, but I want you to look. You can see in that satin finish, you can see every line and edge on that chassis now. It shows off all them lines. I always paint my chassis flat or satin. But anyway, all that work in bodywork paid off because there is not one flaw in the front of this frame up here. Now, I didn't do these upper rails back here, as I've said in a lot of the other videos. I did underneath, but I didn't do this top area back here because the body's going to be on, you're not going to see it. But this area here where I sheet metaled it turned out absolutely killer. It is flawless. And I am loving it. It is going to look wicked when I get all this gloss black accessories on it. And, you know, all the stuff in it and that motor in it and stuff. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get back at it because I've got just about another month of painting, weather permitting, of course. But if I can get a lot of paint done on this parts and on this car, I'm telling you, assembly is going to be very, very fast. That is one thing I can do really quick on a Tri-5 Chevy is reassembly, especially the way I have everything tagged and bagged and labeled, and I've already had the car mocked up. I've got a notebook full of notes, and everything is in one bedroom in my house on shelving and in totes. So reassembly is going to be very, very fast. I don't have to clean and paint any bolts or screws because I've got all brand new. So it's going to be very, very fast assembly. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna get back at it.